Today we have a 2024 Hyundai Bayon. It's the premium, so it sits between the SE Connect and the Ultimate. So we get things like a 10.25 inch touchscreen infotainment system. We also get heated steering on this model. And today we're going to give it a first impression review and take it for a short point of view test drive. But the first thing we'll do is we'll do a walk around, have a look at the boot and the back seats, and we'll then come back in the front and check out what it's got. Now, if you're somebody that loves cars, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We post videos daily, all about cars with a little bit of humor and sarcasm. This model does have the small strip LED lights on the side, on the front of the bonnet. It also comes with 17-inch alloys. Now, the range starts from 15-inch alloys. The color is an interesting color, and the back is definitely interesting. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. I'm not sure why, when car manufacturers make cheaper models, they can't just keep it simple. I think it would have looked a lot nicer if it was just flat. We have a 334-litre boot. There are lots of tethering points, tie-down hooks, and there's also hooks on the side to tie your carrier bags. Under the floor we got further storage space, which currently is housing my jacket and bag. This is not electronically operated, so you do have to manually close the boot. Simply take your hands and pull it shut. Now the back seats, there is no armrest. You get tethering points inside the seats. There are no air vents back here for the heating or air conditioning. There is a USB socket down in the front over there. There are nice big door bins. The driver's seat is currently in my driving position. And I gotta tell you, it's not that great. Knee room is okay. I'm 5'8". I do feel a little bit squashed, cramped by my shin area. Headroom is okay though, and so is shoulder room. And with that, let's go check out the front. As I said, this is a first impression review. I've only just picked up the keys. I have never driven this car before, and I have not gone through its features either. So you're greeted with a whole bunch of bongs when you first turn on the engine. This does have a mild hybrid. The driver display is actually quite nice, very clear. We'll get to the driver display in a minute, but let's have a look at the infotainment system. It's a 12.25 inch touchscreen. It is very clear, and it's very responsive too. There are other things you have on the infotainment system, such as your radio, your media, and your car setup. So you can change different settings on the car from this infotainment system. You don't get a haptic feedback from the buttons that you press, however, they do make a sound. And thankfully, it does have a physical volume knob. Underneath we have a couple of vents, and then below that we have the heating settings with physical shortcut buttons. So you set the temperature by pressing the right side, and you set the fan speed by pressing the left side. Which vent it comes from, you simply press the buttons down here, off, auto. Below that we have a couple of USB sockets, a 12-volt socket, and some well, storage, but it's actually a wireless charger. Let me put my phone in and see if it works. Yeah, there we go, it's charging. Behind the phone charger we have some heated seats. We have the driver's mode, so when you press that, wow, look at those lights as they turn, it's beautiful. So you've got sport, comfort and eco. We'll put it back into comfort for now. You then got your sensors, and you have your cameras. The graphics are okay. You get a colored screen. It's not touch, you can't move it around. However, I think there are different settings over here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's okay. You then got the gear stick. Fantastic to have a traditional gear stick, although I still like the ones that they have in the newer models where it's just a dial in the front. There are a couple of cup holders, handbrake, armrest with some storage inside. Glove box is okay, but you got some nice big door bins. Mind you, the door bins are huge. Right, that would be your fuse box cover. And then on the right hand side of the steering wheel, we have the heated steering button to auto on off, and your traction control settings on and off. The quality on this car, I gotta say, is not great. The steering wheel feels nice, it's fake leather, but on top of the steering wheel, the dashboard doesn't feel great. You got a plastic area here that feels very, very flimsy. Some more plastic above the glove box. Yeah, very cheap, horrible plastic materials down the center. Although it doesn't move anywhere, it's very well built, very well put together, and the rubbish material continues along the door, and especially down here by the door bins. The steering wheel feels nice, it's small, fake leather. On the left hand side we control things in the media, your phone, etc. On the right hand side has different options for the lane assist, for your cruise control, and then in this button here you can change different things in the center of the driver display. It has different options, and I'm not going to go through them over here. It's got reach and rake, so it's quite easy to get comfortable in. This is the highest it goes, but to be fair, it is quite high. That's my knees. Although when I'm driving, there's, as you can see, there is loads of space. And even when it goes to the lowest space, there is still quite a lot of space. When you have it low down, you can just rest your hand on your legs, so that's great. But for the sake of this video, we'll put it high up so that you can see the dashboard from the camera. It doesn't have electric seats, they're manually operated. You got ambient lighting, as you can see. It's daytime, so you won't be able to see the full ambient settings. And with that, let's take it for a short test drive and see what it's like. Now I'm going to drive it on some side roads, as I guess that's where most owners would drive this car. The speed limit on these side roads in London are 20 miles per hour. And they are full of bumps, so we should be able to get a good feel of what the ride quality is like. Now this is a 1 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged engine with a mild hybrid. You should be able to get in excess of 45 miles to the gallon. It is a very economical car. Straight away, the first thing that I feel is how light the steering is, albeit a little bit numb, and you feel a little bit disconnected from the wheels. The car does wobble around a little bit, you feel every single bump. But to be fair, I think this is a little bit smoother than the Citroen C3. I think the Ford Puma is smoother than this car. However, the Ford Puma is quite more expensive, and it does cost a little bit more than this. Another thing I feel as a first impression is it feels very compact, very small, and everything is in reach. The engine is available either as a 99 horsepower or a 118 horsepower. The model that I'm driving today has 118 horsepower. The 0 to 60 time in both of them is 10.4 seconds. This car is a 7-speed automatic gearbox. You can also get this car as a manual. And the manual, funny enough, the 99 horsepower 0 to 60 time takes an extra second. It drives over the bumps nicely. I think your kids in the back would feel very comfortable in this car. I also think it's a very good cheap option. There's very little to compare this to, because the cars that we normally compare this to are a lot more expensive than this car. I think what is better though than this car are the Peugeots and the Renaults. They've updated the cars and they're actually quite nice. The quality is fantastic. The ride is also not too bad. The Citroen is absolute rubbish, as is the quality, not just the ride. And I wouldn't recommend getting that car. But driving around in the city roads in Stamford Hill of North London, the car feels great. Takes the bumps very nicely. As I said earlier, the steering is very light, which is what you want from a city car. I haven't had a chance to check the power on this car, but I doubt it's got loads of it. You don't buy this car for the power. The braking also feels good. And I'm just gonna park it, so we'll check what the camera's like. As you can hear, it's got sensors all over, front and rear. You got the lines that help to direct where you park the car, and it's actually very easy to park. All in all, my final verdict on this car is I think it's a great little city car, city family car. The quality, although it's not the greatest, but it's put together very well. The buttons feel good to press, the infotainment system is great, and the ride quality is good too. And I think the best part about this car is how economical this car is. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you have a great day.